Hello everybody, it's the 12th of February today, and I'm looking at my Persica parotia Persian Ironwood, which I bought as a small starter tree back in 2021, and I've been growing it in this large seed tray as a training pot for the last 3 years or so, and it wasn't any thicker than my little finger and only about a foot high when I got it, so you can see it's put on quite a bit of weight. If I pop the can in for scale, you can see just how big it is, and today's plan is to put it into a new pot, one of the pots I had for Christmas, and I've decided that it's going to be this rather nice blue one, and I think that will show off the it's a sort of mid blue, it's not a dark blue, and it will show off the yellows and pinks that this tree shows in autumn, and the pinks more so in the spring. So first thing I'm going to do is get it out of this training pot, give the roots a little bit of a clean up, and then we'll see about getting it into that pot. First thing I want to do is strip off these old leaves. You see the structure of the tree more clearly now. It holds onto its leaves rather like a beech does, or a hornbeam. This is definitely not in any kind of traditional bonsai style. It's not a broom, or there's nothing informal upright about it or anything. It's just in the style that it's evolved into, and I'm more than happy for it to be a naturalistic tree. As I've grown older, I've become less bothered about following all the basic rules of bonsai, and more interested in making trees that I like to look at. And so I like this kind of twin trunk nature. Some would say that this secondary trunk is too high. Again, I like it, so I'm keeping it. Treated Cooper to a nice, stay warm, self-heating pet mat to lay on out here on the patio, and he's much happier with it, so that's nice. So he's with us in spirit, even if he's going to try and stay out of view of the camera as much as possible. I even like this odd little root base. Nothing to write home about, but I like it. Okay, as I said, the tree's been in this pot for several years. Hasn't entirely filled the pot with root, but a fair amount. And as I'm going to try and fit it into this nice blue pot, you can see that I'm not actually going to have to remove a huge amount of root, which means the tree can continue powering its development up top, which is nice. So I'm going to find my root shears. There's a certain amount of sort of roundy root, as it were. So we'll get rid of that. Okay, some patient scrubbing, as it were, with the brush has revealed to me some more of these nice decorative roots. I haven't got a radial root spread as such, but again, it's not something I'm overly fussed about. I like it if I've got it, but I find this equally as interesting, and it's something I've seen many a time walking in the woods with Cooper and things, these sort of trees in the world, let's just say, rarely have a perfectly radial root. And so, to me, perfectly radial root system was nice and looks aesthetically pleasing. Doesn't always look as realistic. It looks a little bit manicured, and I prefer my trees to look as if nature's made them, rather than if they're manicured and made lovely like a hedge with perfectly smooth flat sides, if that makes sense. So there we go. That's reduced the root ball quite considerably. Should fit in the pot. I could still stand to take a little bit off the edge. Some of these longer roots I'm going to leave, not cut, and then they can be tucked in underneath as I fill the pot. Just want to make enough room that I can get some fresh soil around the outside of this root ball, so again it's got something to grow into. That's better, much better. It's also going to give this tree a deeper root run, which will be nice and power, some more growth I hope. Okay, drainage screens are in, and I'm probably going to have to fill this pot up about halfway. Some controlled release fertilizer, and I'll try the tree a little more. Okay, make sure that the root ball's completely in contact with that soil, there's no air gaps underneath, and yeah, liking the root base at that level. So now I can just fill in into those gaps. Where there's a relatively big gap, your fingers are workers. Where there's any you can feel if you're overly compacting the soil. Where there's a narrow gap, you need something a bit more pointy to make sure that soil is getting all the way down there, and that there are no gaps. Okay, so a little bit more. With the feed at the top of the pot, and then I just go over and fill the rest of the pot, and just a little bit of thin layer, just a thin layer over the top to homogenise the look without covering, if I can, those freshly exposed surface roots. It just neatens up the whole thing, makes it look well, less like it's been dug up, roots chopped and replanted. Again, we're back to looking a bit more natural perhaps. I know some would add moss at this point, so that looked natural, but a few regular subscribers, and if not, well, now's your chance. You'll know I'm not a big fan of moss. There we have it. Okay, so time to tackle the top. And there are a couple of things about the top of this tree that are bothering me slightly. First of all is this kind of dead straight piece here, which I'm not entirely enamoured with. And I've decided I'm going to take that top off there and shorten that back, shorten that back. In the end, I want these central pieces to be higher than these lower pieces, so I'm going to chop off that piece. I want to try and create a kind of dome, as it were, and much as it kind of pains me to lose some of this ramification, if I don't cut it back at least part of the way, then obviously it's just going to keep getting taller and taller until it's no longer a bonsai, if that makes sense. So I'm just trimming out some of these pieces on the inside that are growing pretty much in the wrong direction, shortening other pieces, get some of this crisscrossy stuff. This will help compensate for some of the roots that I've removed as well. Gonna take that back. Like so. Don't like that piece going downwards. This piece I'm going to take back here. That's better. I'll put a bit of wire on that. Better. Shorten that piece back there. This branch I was growing outwards to fill in this corner, and I'm just going to take the tip off of that. Similarly with that. Which brings me back to this piece, which I'm not sure if I like it or I don't like it. So for the time being, I'm going to keep it and leave it at that. I almost always spot something at this point when I say I'm going to leave it at that. I'll take that off. Okay, I think we'll call it a day for that one. I'll pop the cam back in for scale. And there's the tree, repotted in its new pot, set up for spring. Some new surface roots are showing, and all in all I'm very pleased with them. I consider this tree is only, like I say, 2021, March 2021 I got this tree. So almost 3 years. From something about the size of a pencil. I'm going to shorten that. it has done really, really well. Let's give you a twirl. And then I shall just say thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, comment below. Most of all, please, please, please stay safe, everybody.